The following program is underwritten by the generous support of Associates of Glens Falls and Loomis & Lipan Insurance. Since 1852, they have been assisting both businesses and individuals across the country secure the most comprehensive insurance products available. Associates of Glens Falls and Loomis & Lipan are one of New York's largest independently owned insurance agencies. Public affairs programming on Look TV is underwritten by the generous support of Pinnell's Restaurant, classic Italian-American food since 1922, and Stored Tech, technology solutions for computers, networks, and phone. Stored Tech, your technology, our passion.
1922, Babe Ruth debuts with the Yankees. WGY signs on air. Exterminator wins the Saratoga Cup, and Pinnell's Restaurant opens its doors for the very first time. For 5 generations, Pinnell's has been preparing delicious Italian food, served in a comfortable, home-like setting where everyone is welcomed. 90 years of authentic Italian recipes, 90 years of the freshest ingredients, and 90 years of the finest classic Italian dishes, all made daily by hand. Pinnell's Italian Restaurant, a Saratoga dining tradition since 1922.
Firms deal only with prevention, the systems that block hackers and viruses. Stored Tech knows the root cause is actually good people doing bad things. So we offer a security training program which includes certifying all participants to show they understand the basics.
Technology solutions for computers, networks, and phones. Stored Tech, your technology, our passion.
Well, it's 7 o'clock, right on the button. All right, well, welcome everybody to our regular town board meeting. It's August 19th, 2019, time is 7 p.m. And before we begin the regular agenda items, would you all please join Councilman George Barone in saying the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, thank you and welcome. And our first presentation is dealing with an issue that George Winters alerted us to, and is that many members of the public have questions about the New York State STAR program. And so I thought, no doubt about it, the best person to answer those questions and serve the public by giving them additional information is our assessor, Terry Ross. And Terry is renowned throughout the state. As a matter of fact, I gave one of her introductory speeches on her behalf as she was being elected to become the president of the New York State Federation of Assessors. And so, yes, quite an honor. And while I was out in the audience talking to others, mostly assessors, they had huge accolades for Terry. So I know she didn't want me to say that, but I had to. So Terry, would you come up and help inform the public about STAR? Now here is Joel, and Joel will help guide us as to what might be best. I can.
Just a visual aid here.
You want me to hold it up here?
If you should be on, sure. Yeah, I mean, I can do whatever, so I can just go ahead. That works.
How's that?
I've got handouts here too.
I can hide.
Do you want me to stand behind with the microphone? Or up here?
If you could be next to it, that'd be.
Yeah, if you could take.
Well, we
the
want you to
microphone.
take the
microphone.
Yeah, just take it right off the chair.
Oh, wow, I feel like a rock star.
Yeah.
Okay, this works.
Well, I'm one of your stage hands.
All right, that's good. You're Vanna White, John. Give you a little background on the STAR exemption program. Started it back in the 1990s with Governor Pataki. And what it is, it's school savings, school STAR exemption savings. People that are under 65, if it's their primary residence, they make less than $500,000, they can get basic STAR. People that are 65 or older make less than, this year it was $86,000. could get Enhanced Star if it's your primary residence. The program going along swimmingly until a few years ago, when the state decided that they should make some adjustments. This happens to be the only exemption that the state pays for. It's one of their exemptions. So the savings that you and I all save on our school tax bills, this state pays directly to the school district, okay? A wire transfer to the school district. Well, in 2015, the state decided in their infinite wisdom to change the program a little bit. So from anyone owning a new property from 7/1/2015 forward, instead of getting the exemption, which automatically reduces your school tax bill, you needed to register with the state, no longer coming through our office as an exemption, register with the state, and they would send you a check. Instead of having the exemption automatically reduce your school tax bill, they send you a check. Now, these programs paralleled each other. The same, if you were getting a basic star, the same savings that came off your exemption, you'd get in a check in September to help you pay your school tax bill. This did raise some havoc with new homeowners with escrow accounts that didn't realize this was going into effect. You set up your escrow account, you're thinking you're getting the exemption, it's going to come automatically off your school tax bill. All of a sudden, the bank or the escrow company is getting a full school tax bill, and you're getting the check. So unless you made arrangements to send your check directly to your school or directly to your bank or escrow company, then you would start getting charged more every month for your mortgage. But those programs all paralleled each other. The requirements for each were the same. So, and those savings go up a little bit every year. And you can see here for the Enhanced Star, in 2017, I'm going to just pick Queensbury School District. If you had the exemption or the check, it was worth $915. Either $915 came automatically off your school tax bill, or you received a check in the mail for $915 that helped you pay your school tax bill. Then if you can see in 2018, the savings was $933. So those savings can go up to about 2% a year, can't go more than 2% savings a year. Well, the state this year decided to change this a little bit more. So and those savings that are for the exemption, the one that comes automatically off your school tax bill, are now frozen. So we're never going to save more than $933. If this is Enhanced Star, never going to save more than $933 if you have the exemption. Automatically comes off your school tax bill, okay? Same thing with the Basic Star. I think we saved $456 last year with a Basic Star exemption. Never going to save more than that. That's frozen. But the state decided to continue to let the check be more. So there was a big push to get everybody to go to that check program. The check program now can continue to go up about 2% or as much as 2% every year. They also changed the requirements for the exemptions. Where it used to be you could make up to $500,000 as a Basic Star exemption. The exemption now, you can only make up to $250,000. But if you go to the check program, you can still make up to $500,000. It's really a push through the governor's office to essentially force everybody to go to this to this check program. No one had to do it this year. It was an option, and it will be an option, at least as far as I know, until the legislature gets together next year. It was voluntary this year, and you can change at any time. The thing is that you're going to miss out on savings if you don't eventually go to that check program. But the problem is, and especially for our senior citizens, where I think this is actually criminal, and the state is preying on the senior citizens, they're not going to have an extra $933 if they go to the check program. They're going to get a full school tax bill, $933 more than last year. And if they don't get that check in the mail, by September 30th, which is the last day you can pay your school taxes, they're going to be charged a penalty, or they're going to have to pay that. Now, the state says those checks will be in the mail and you should get them by that September 30th, which is the last day you can pay without a penalty. In fact, they've said that they will pay the interest and interest on that if you don't get it in time. But that's not going to help the senior citizen that really likes to pay their bills as soon as they get them. We have them lining up. Caroline's office knows this. We'll have them lining up in the hall the first day they can pay because they want to get it paid. And if they don't, they're going to have to wait for the check, which I think is absolutely crazy. The other thing is that if anybody, Basic Star or Enhanced Star, if you have an escrow account, you're going to have to make arrangements. I believe we're telling people they should talk to their escrow company and say that, as soon as we get that Star check, we will send it right to you. Otherwise, and we still have senior citizens that have mortgages that have an escrow account. Otherwise, the bank's getting a bill for $933 more than they got last year. Usually takes a year at least, sometimes a year and a half, for the bank or the escrow company to catch up. All of a sudden, you're going to be paying $300 or $400 more a month to catch up because they'd had to pay that whole school tax bill. So we're advising people to contact their escrow companies and arrange to send that check right to them so they don't get penalized. The other thing is it was voluntary. So anybody that did it for this year, you can either go online or you can call them, and the number's here, and I also have a handouts there to change the check program. Now, it might not seem a lot if it's $15 more. They're going to get in a check this year. So instead of $933, they might get $950 or $948. But after a couple years of that happening, especially the seniors are going to see that they're losing savings. I got to say that the majority of the people this year, I would say probably 90% of the people that I talked a couple times with the senior citizens, Spectrum News, the local newspapers. The majority of the people decided to stay with the exemption for this year. A, to check to see if the check was really going to be more, and B, when people got those checks. Okay? You can, after this school tax cycle, you can check those out. You can call our office and see, did they get the checks? Most people get the checks on time. Did they get more money? You can change to that check program at any time. We feel, at least most of the assessors in the area feel that they're just not being fair. The state's just not being fair to especially the senior citizens, because it's so convenient to have that $933 automatically deduct your school tax bill. And it just doesn't seem right to us. My theory is, if you want to know, my theory is that when the state pays the school districts the money, the Star Savings money, that it comes right out of the governor's budget. Of course, the budgets are capped at 2%. When it goes to the check program, they're called an income tax credit check, and it's no longer an expense in his budget. So eventually, I can see everybody having to go to this check program. Really, call our office, stop in and see me anytime. Again, there's flyers up here. 518-761-8243 is my direct line. I'd be able to answer any of your questions. Again, it's voluntary. They're not making it mandatory now, but eventually in the next couple of years, we're probably going to see that people are not getting the savings that they deserve for the STAR program. Any questions?
One of the questions was, if you make your, as elderly people can, you can make some of your taxes on payments.
Yes.
Do you lose your STAR exemption?
No, absolutely not. No. No, making payments absolutely has nothing to do with that. The other thing that we were worried about, the assessors were worried about, we don't see people's income anymore. Last year, one of the changes to the STAR program was that the state's taking over looking at people's income. Everyone had to give the state their social security number so that they could check their income. So we don't see that anymore. And there are other exemptions that people might qualify for, but we don't see that income anymore. So we're really asking people that are on the enhanced program, elderly people or people that are going into the enhanced program, that if their combined income, net, not gross income, is less than $37,400, you need to come into our office because you may qualify for even better exemptions for the low income aged exemption.
All right, questions? Anybody from the audience?
When's the last time you could sign up for that?
For the check program, you can do it at any time except for right now because they've already started the tax billing process right now. But that's why most people said they were going to wait till October or November and decide if they do want to go to the check, then make the change then after this taxing cycle, checking to see if, yes, did people get the checks in time to pay their school tax bill, and also to see if it really was more money. You know, if it was $935, does anybody really want to change to the check program for $2? Maybe not, but it can go up as much as 2% a year.
But the senior citizens get that
$933 is what the people that had enhanced STAR, that's what automatically came off your school tax bill last year. Or in Mr. Steck's case, he gets a check. He's in the check program because he bought a new house after 2015. For you, if you decide to go to the check program, remember you'll get a bill that's going to be $933 more than the year before, and then you're just going to wait and get your check, and hopefully it'll get here in time to help you pay your school tax bill.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else? Well,
Thanks, Vanna.
thank you, Terry. All right, again, well, thank you, Terry, and George and other members of the audience. It was a great suggestion, George, and so, again, a little information goes a long way, and thank you, Terry.
There's handouts here.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, now we'll get on with the regular agenda. And there are no public hearings tonight, so we go right to resolutions. There are 13 resolutions. I will briefly describe each one. If you have any thoughts or concerns you want to share with the town board about any of them, after I go through and describe them, you're welcome to do so. Now, this segment of the town board meeting deals with just what's in the resolutions. If you've got another town topic that you wish to talk to the town board about, I will give you that opportunity towards the end of the meeting. But this part of the meeting deals with just the resolutions, okay? Resolution 2.1, Karen?
Resolution authorizing agreement between Town of Queensbury and Friends of Mountainside Library.
All right, this is an annual thing, we help out. There's an independent library in the northern part of Queensbury. It's in a historic building. It's a library that anybody can go, grab a book. If you're done with the books in your house, please bring them over to the library. They can make use of them. It's a system that works quite well. But they still need to pay the lights and everything else that goes on up there. So this is a $1,500. It comes out of the community fund. It doesn't come out of OC tax. We have a community fund for these kind of community activities. And so this is for $1,500. Resolution 2.2.
Resolution authorizing intermunicipal agreement between Town of Queensbury and Warren County relating to solid waste and recyclable disposable services of plastic, WC 66-18, solid waste and recycling transportation services, WC 67-18, municipal paper recycling services, WC 17-19, and electronics recycling services, WC 14-18.
All right, so I want to thank Julie Butler. She is Warren County purchasing. She does the bidding for us. She does the bidding for these activities that I'm about to explain to you for all of the county, and all the county gets to benefit or piggyback off of her bids. One is the recyclable disposable services of plastics, and the winning bidder was Casella Waste Management. Solid waste and recycling transportation services with Waste Management of New York. Municipal paper recycling with Perkins Recycling. Electronics recycling with Evolution Recycling. Solid waste and recyclable disposable services with Wheelabrator. Solid waste and recyclable disposable services with Finch Waste. So we can use any of those services, and they've been bid out. It was a competitive bid. Those are the winning bidders, and those are the ones that we're coming into agreement with, if this resolution is passed by the town board. Resolution 2.3,
Resolution amending Resolution Number 105 of 2019 to correct tax map number.
all right, this is for Bay Road self-storage. At the time Bay Road self-storage was going through its application process, where it was located on one piece of property, there was some configuration changes in the property. So that property where it ended up being a different lot after they got done with all the configurations. So the original approval that we gave them, and this is in regards to they don't have to directly connect to the sewer that's going down Bay Road, but they will still have to pay all the capital costs, et cetera, associated with being in that district, but they won't have to connect. So the actual number was 302.8-2-23 is being corrected as being 302.8-2-24. And that's just a correction for that. Resolution 2.4.
Resolution authorizing shared service agreement between Warren County and Town of Queensbury.
All right, there are activities that Warren County and Queensbury get involved with. The old handshake used to be good in the old days. The old handshake's no good anymore. They want a shared services agreement. And in that shared services agreement, there's agreeing that they'll be insured, there's agreement on how the equipment will be treated, and so forth. So we usually help out with the Warren County Balloon Festival. The town does, our highway department specifically. So rather than have a municipal agreement for every single time that we ask the county for a service or some equipment, or the county asks us for a service or some equipment, we've got a shared services agreement in place for that. Resolution 2.5.
Resolution granting the State of New York authority to perform betterment work for the Town of Queensbury, Warren County, and Town of Queensbury agreeing to maintain facilities installed and adjusted via state let contract.
Okay. New York State Department of Transportation proposes the construction, reconstruction, improvement of 9L and 9L pavement widening in the town of Queensbury. So the state is willing to package this whole thing. We need to replace the water line. National Grid needs to replace their gas line and so forth. They need to, like I said, reconstruct and repave the road. We can do this in terms of a betterment project, which if done together is more efficient and saves everybody money. They're asking us to pay them approximately $1.2 million for adding the replacement of the water line. And this is a water line that goes from Quaker Road all the way over to Cronin Road. That is estimated to be about a 20% savings for the town of Queensbury because it's being done as a betterment project. And so if this town board approves this, they'll be able to fully execute the New York State Department of Transportation Utility Work Agreement in the form presented in that resolution. 2.6.
Resolution authorizing Lake George Triathlon.
Okay. The Adirondack Waste Management does the Lake George Triathlon Festival, or sometimes just called the Lake George Triathlon. It's Saturday, August 31st, 2019. It starts at 7 a.m. It goes to about 10:30 a.m. And it includes the Warren County Bike Trail, Birdsall Road, Round Pond Road, Blind Rock Road, Haviland Road, Rockwell Road, Sunnyside, Jenkinsville, and Ridge Roads. There is a map delineating the course. Dave Duell has reviewed their proposal and approved it, and they have the insurance forms, and they have all their ducks in a row as they're supposed to. So the last thing they need is for this town board to approve their use of town roads for that event. 2.7.
Resolution authorizing acceptance of easements from Donna and Kirk Barton and Dream Lake Builders, LLC.
All right, we're always working to try and improve our stormwater situation in the town. This is for Sunnyside, Lake Sunnyside. And what we're proposing to do is install some permeable paver infrastructure to help improve the drainage of Sunnyside North Road going into Sunnyside Road. So we need some easements to do that. So property owners, Donna and Kurt Barton and Dream Lake Builders are working with us on this matter because this matter will benefit town residents. And so they can go ahead with that stormwater improvement program if the town board approves the authorization and acceptance of these easements. Resolution 2.8.
Resolution authorizing hiring of Ryan Tucker as full-time motor equipment operator for Town Highway Department.
All right, the town's highway superintendent has interviewed people, and this is has reviewed resumes, and he is making a recommendation to the town board to hire Ryan Tucker. If the board approves, Ryan Tucker will still have to go through the passing of a pre-employment physical and successful completion of a 26-week probationary period. And it's also contingent upon successful background checks, which we've already done, and he came out fine, and so forth. Resolution 2.9.
Resolution to amend 2019 budget.
All right, this is the usual routine exchanging of monies from where we originally thought it should be in the budget to where we actually need it as the budget progresses through the year. The exception being is the $57,500 that you probably have noted. That is a capacity buy-in. Chris Harrington, who is the superintendent of our water and director of wastewater in the town, for the town of Queensbury, has reviewed the capacities of our various sewer districts. Route 9 was a little bit short, and Queensbury Consolidated has a little extra. So what he's going to do is transfer $57,500 from fund balance, the Route 9 fund balance, into capacity buy-in with the intent that they are going to buy the extra capacity from Queensbury Consolidated. All right, so I just thought I'd be proactive. I'm sure that some of my board members had questions, maybe members of the public about that one. The rest are pretty routine. Resolution 210.
Resolution authorizing settlement of property assessment cases filed by BT Nuyo LLC.
Yeah, good as I could have done. All right, we're talking about 52 Boom Road, and this is all part of an Article 7 real property assessment case. And this is a settlement, and our and I do have some overhead aerials if it would help you. I'll share this with you. And a description of the property and a picture of the UPS trucks in front of the building. And anyhow, that's the property. We're talking about 52 Big Boom Road. So, you know, the challenge come up and there is an agreement. The assessment in 2014 was $842,000. And then it jumped up to $958,800 for the other years. They sought to reduce their assessments to $400,000. All right, so they agreed to set the assessment at $828,000, and that'll be for fixed years of 2019 through 2021. The assessor feels that the agreed upon assessed value of $828,000 is appropriate for this property. In addition to setting an accurate assessment moving forward, we will avoid all refund liability and significant litigation and appraisal fees that would result if we were to move forward with this matter to a trial. So Terry Ross thinks that this is fair for all involved if the town board approves it. Resolution 211.
Resolution approving audited bills warrant of August 20th, 2019.
Okay. This is for the warrant run from August 15th and a payment date of August 20th totaling $642,846.74. Resolution 212.
Order setting public hearing concerning proposed Queensbury Technical Park Sewer District Extension Number 7.
All right, this is just to set a public hearing for September 9th, our next regular town board meeting. Hayes and Hayes have a project off of Luzerne Road called Luzerne Road Duplexes. And they would like to connect to the sewer. And they had asked for this years ago. But at the time, we were doing the sewer studies and everything else along Main Street to determine our capacity. And we wanted some history. So both the capacity studies as well as the historic use of what we're seeing for the Main Street line, says that we do have capacity for the Hayes and Hayes project off Luzerne Road. So this is, again, just setting the public hearing for September 9th. This will also be part one of an environmental assessment form, has been prepared and is presented at this meeting, and will undergo an uncoordinated review. Resolution 213.
Resolution authorizing engagement of Invasive Solutions Dive Company LLC for diver-assisted suction harvesting in connection with Glen Lake Aquatic Vegetation Management Program.
All right, we had already approved a proposal put forward by Aqualogic. And that was for $1,000 a day, set a fee at $200, not to exceed $30,200. Aqualogic said that they can't do it this year. We're sorry, we're overloaded, so forth. Paul McKillips is here, who is president of the Glen Lake Protective Association and also an advisory board member, if we have any questions on this matter. All right. Having heard bad news from Aqualogic, they did a further investigation and found another company called Invasive Solutions Dive Company. And they assessed the lake, and they said, and Paul can correct me if I'm wrong, they said the lake is in surprisingly good condition. So the management of Glen Lake has been very good. They assessed it, and they said, you know what? A minimal amount of our work, you're going to be in great shape. So they've offered to do 2 40-hour work weeks for a total of $14,960 to do some invasive plant management on Glen Lake. So, no, the one thing that we need from them, Paul, is they need to get their certificate of insurance to us, okay? If this passes, that's all then. All right, so those are the 13 resolutions before the town board. Any thoughts on behalf of the town board before I open the public for their thoughts and concerns on any of these resolutions?
I don't have a concern, I just comment on 2.2, which was the waste management with Warren County. It really is just a comment and a concern that things are changing so rapidly in the waste management area, in the recycling of plastics and the burning of waste, and that there are things going on in town. The Climate Smart Community is committee is trying to address it, and there's going to be a zero waste committee forming in town. And just that I hope that when this comes up for next year, that these things are considered. That it's not always the same. I know, Casella and so forth are the ones that are doing the plastics and so forth, but the the population, I don't think, the community needs further education as to what they can put in their recycling to prevent it from going to the burn plant. Because if a load is tainted in any way, they can't handle the plastic, so it goes to the burn plant. So I just wanted to be sure that this is considered when this comes up in 2020, because that's what this says, that it comes up again in 2020.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
All
all.
right, thank you. And those are good words of wisdom. Anything else? All right, any member of the public wish to speak to any of the 13 resolutions before this board tonight? Yes, sir.
George Winters, 4 John Clendon Road. 2.2. Did the recycling go up from last year or stay the same, or? I know a lot of the counties are having trouble with it, you know?
Yeah, I didn't bring last year's figures with me, George. I can find that out and get that to you. My quick look at it is they look pretty similar.
Yeah. I guess my
Won't surprise me if
concern
they
was
go up a little bit, but
paying at the recycling, you know?
yeah.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Right, George.
There is stuff at the back.
Yeah,
What's that?
There is
at the
information
back, there's all of the different
It gives
schedules.
it gives it 2018, and 19, and 20.
All right, you want to share
See,
that
what are we
with
looking for,
It should
just
be-
plastic?
It depends upon the contract and what data they included for which contracts. So some of it is there, some of it isn't.
I don't know if the plastic.
All right, well, let me get a better handle on that,
Okay.
and I'll share it with George and any other member of the public that wants that information, okay? All right, George, I made a note. Anybody else? Any of the 13 resolutions? Yes, sir.
Good evening. Bob Schultz from 2458 Ridge Road, Queensbury. I'd like to comment on Resolution 212. It is the law of the state, the policy of the state, that the state and its municipalities will, quote, encourage productive and enjoyable harmony between man and his environment to promote efforts which will prevent or eliminate damage to the environment. To quote its website, Queensbury is one of the most vibrant and beautiful towns in New York State. But Queensbury has a dirty little secret. Every year, it unnecessarily and foolishly sends millions of gallons of untreated domestic sewage and industrial wastewater out of town to be deposited directly in the Hudson River. The government of Queensbury has not been honest with its citizens. 30 years ago, Queensbury amended its wastewater disposal policy. Instead of continuing to require that all new residential, government, and commercial development utilize government-approved, on-site, or regional subsurface wastewater disposal facilities, Queensbury has been organizing and promoting the construction of abusive sewers to transport raw, untreated wastewater from Queensbury to a facility in Glens Falls on the banks of the Hudson River, knowing all along that the facility does not have the capacity to treat Queensbury's wastewater, and that every time it rains, even drizzles, raw, untreated wastewater from Queensbury must be made to bypass the plant to be deposited directly into the Hudson River. I appeal to the residents of Glens Falls. Upgrade the Glens Falls facility to prevent further damage to the environment. I appeal to the residents of Queensbury. Until the Glens Falls facility is upgraded, please utilize on-site or regional subsurface wastewater disposal facilities to prevent further damage to the environment. And I appeal to the residents of Queensbury and Glens Falls. Please do not allow the rule of whim to undermine and degrade the rule of law. Thank you.
Anybody else like to speak to the town board about any of the resolutions before the town board tonight? 13 resolutions? Seeing none, I'll just make a comment. The town of Queensbury is very open and honest with its public, and I would challenge us to be compared to any municipality in terms of our openness and transparency to the public. And we do utilize Glens Falls as wastewater treatment plant, and we do help pay for the operation of that plant and the capital upgrades. And the problem, if you compare what goes into the Hudson River on the event of a major storm, you'll find over 100 municipalities contributing to that. Glens Falls will, in comparison, be one of the smallest. And Glens Falls has what's called, and was okay, all cities did it at one time. They combined their sewer and their stormwater into one system. So when it rained, all the rainwater is going into a wastewater treatment plant to be treated. And so there are times when it exceeds capacity and it only receives some kind of a pre-treatment, and then it goes into the river. That's correct. But that's mostly due to the combined sewer and stormwater system in the city. Again, Queensbury, we don't have a combined sewer and stormwater system. Ours is completely separate. The only thing going to the wastewater treatment plant from the town of Queensbury, for the most part, with the exception of some minimal infiltration, is wastewater. So we're not contributing to the problem. When it rains, it's the combined system in the city. They are under DEC consent order to do things about that, and they are making rapid and excellent progress in separating the stormwater and sewer systems and treating the stormwater in other ways rather than going to the treatment center. So that being said, are there any resolutions that the town board wishes to speak to or to have a roll call for?
No.
Okay. I'll entertain a resolution to approve resolutions 2.1 through 213. Introduced by Councilman Medevere, seconded by
Second.
Councilwoman Switzer. A roll call vote on the resolutions 2.1 through 213, please.
Sure. Councilperson Medevere?
Yes.
Atherton?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Switzer?
Yes.
Strauss?
Yeah. So all resolutions passed unanimously. Any correspondence, Karen?
Yes, I do have one. It's a supervisor's report from Community Development Building Codes for the month of July. It's on file in the clerk's office.
Thank you. All right, now it's privilege of the floor. If there are any town topic that anybody wishes to talk to the town board about, you're welcome to do so. This is your opportunity, and if you want to indicate your desire to do that.
George Winters, 4 John Clinton Road. I was wondering what power company that the town of Queensbury used. A while ago, you talked about going to some different supplier of your electricity. Did that ever happen so that town people can get into it?
No, we've never, you're talking about the aggregate, the community aggregate?
Yeah.
No, we never did.
No.
You know, if there's benefits to it, we'd rather other municipalities try the system, and if it's tried and proven, then we'll take a look at it. I think I speak for the board on that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Did you say earlier that part one?
Please come to the microphone, introduce.
Did you say earlier that part one of the environmental assessment form is available
Yes, it is.
here tonight?
I believe, Karen, is that?
There's an extra, you can have the one in the,
It's right there,
in the book.
Right where, Mark? In the book?
attached, it's in the book, it's also attached to the resolution.
Thank you.
Bob, at the end of the meeting, I'll make sure you get a copy, okay?
Yeah, I don't see the resolution, but I'll look in the book. I'll put the book back.
It's all in the book.
Pardon me?
They're all in the book, the resolution.
All right, anybody else like to talk to the town board about any town matters? Seeing none, let's move on to town board discussions. Jennifer, let's start with you.
Sure, just a quick one. Hopefully, people will be able to see this before the date arrives. There's a stream cleanup crew that will be assembling on Tuesday, August 27th from 1 to 3 for the Halfway Brook watershed. If you're interested in participating, you can contact Warren County Soil and Water Conservation at 518-623-3119. And that's by Thursday, August 22nd. So you've just got a couple of days to get your name in if you're interested in helping. And that's all I have.
All right, thank you. George?
Well, I know I received a copy of this email from you, but I just wanted to mention to the folks that if there's any one topic that we continue to get emails about, it has to do with the rate of speed that people are traveling on side roads. Time and time again, people are writing us, asking us to change the amount of miles per hour on our local roads, which is, I think, rated at 30 miles per hour, which we cannot change as a town municipality. We don't have that opportunity to do that. But I just want to throw that out there. Folks should to consider about how fast they're going on local roads. Please observe the miles per hour, particularly during the summer. The kids are home, and one email talked about, children being outside and the cars just going too fast down the road. And I ask folks to just consider that and think about that when they're driving around town.
You're right, and I can't think of a road that I haven't gotten a complaint about.
Yeah.
It seems like everybody wants the traffic to slow down. In some cases, it's the speed limit as determined by the state. In some cases, it's people that go faster than the speed limit. Now, it's not like we're ignoring them. We've studied the matter. We've had authorities study the matter. We're trying to do something what we can about it. We've been in touch with the law enforcement. And 2 weeks after they're gone, it's right back to where it was. But we have invested in some radar speed control signs. And we're working on getting posts and getting the packages together. And the highway department's going to do that for us. But again, they're paving roads. They're in a very aggressive summer schedule. We took apart one of the units. We see how it goes together. We read the instructions. We understand the format. We're researching the polls. And we found at least one company that looks satisfactory.
Right.
And so we're getting there. And as soon as the highway department gets a chance, we'll get those poles and we'll get those up. And what they will be is a tree-like situation where it'll have the speed limit. On top, it has solar, and it will have a speed monitor with some kind of a message that we put there. It could be school zone, could be too fast, could be intersection coming, it could be bike trail, and then the speed limit sign as a reminder of what they should be doing, okay? So George has researched this matter and found that these signs are effective. They're not perfect, nothing's going to be perfect, but they are effective in reducing the traffic speeds and making roads safer. So we're going to give it a try. We're going to take some of the roads that we think deserve an immediate attention, and we know there are others. We'll probably get to you, but let's try this out for now. Okay, well, anything else, George? Catherine?
Just one thing, there is a film on Monday at Grenville Library about Front Porch Forum. Front Porch Forum has been in Vermont for 12 years. It is a neighborhood, it's a way of connecting in community and neighborhoods, and they're coming now into Warren County and Washington County. It's free. The areas are broken up into neighborhoods of at least 50 people, and it is simply, it's probably complicated, but it's about connecting with your neighbors. And it can be, so there's a film, it's a short film, and the people from Front Porch Forum will be there for a discussion, and that's 6:30 at the library. And it's co-sponsored by Tri-County New York Transition. It's just to give you an idea, people are post on it, and it can be anything. It is really a wonderful way of connecting with your neighborhood. Such things as you've lost a pet, or you want somebody to recommend a mechanic, or there's a block party happening, or there's been break-ins. You can do group buying, you can talk about politics, you can buy, sell, give away items, wildlife sightings, all sorts of stuff that you can do, and it's well monitored. They have professional monitors, so it's not like Facebook. It's not nothing like Facebook. Yeah, it's nothing like Facebook. This is really about talking to your neighbors. That's what it's all about, really. And I think it's a wonderful thing. I signed up, and it's very easy to sign up. But your neighborhood, so I'm now in what they call the West Glens Falls neighborhood, but you have to build up to 50 people before it's really active. So, if anybody's interested, frontporchforum.com gives you all the information, and there is a film and discussion about it on Monday at 6:30 at the library. Thanks.
Okay. Anything else, Kathy?
That's it.
Thank you. Tony?
No, I'm good tonight, John, thank you.
Okay, thank you. I have a few things, of course. Ron Cano, the chair of the Warren County Board of Supervisors, appointed me to another thing. The Warren County Balloon Festival Committee. Like, I need one more thing to do. However, having said that, I'm thankful that he did appoint me to the Balloon Festival Committee. I've never seen a dozen or so more energetic people dedicated to the detail of trying to put this balloon festival together, which incorporates so many things that you and I, at least not before I got onto the committee, had ever thought of. This year, for example, because of a balloon accident in Texas, a huge amount of paperwork needs to be done, not only by the organization, but also by all the balloonists, the pilots. They have to do it. Now, they're not happy about this, but they have to do it. So if they want to be a balloonist at our festival, they have to do the new FAA paperwork. That's just a small aspect of what they're trying to do and what they're trying to line up. If you and we go and we see the beautiful balloons go up, have no idea how much work these people do to make that happen. So how much do they get paid? Zero. It's all volunteer work by these people. Some of them are balloon pilots. But having put me on the committee also made me kind of a liaison, because I'm also a county supervisor. State law, you become a town supervisor, you automatically become a county supervisor. So, I've been able to get some things done on the county level to help the Balloon Festival Committee out. One thing they would like to see, there was a list of things, I'm not going to go through that all with you. It's just assuring you that Kevin Hayjos and the Warren County Sheriff's Department have been working very closely with us and very efficiently and effectively, and I've got to thank them for that. So we've got a big crowd, and there's obviously concerns these days about big crowds. So we're asking Warren County Sheriffs to have more of a presence in the crowd this year. Whether it's walking or it's an ATV or it's mounted police, you know, that would be nice. Also, you know, they've noticed 2 intersections that are problematic. We could probably come up with more intersections, but I'm talking about the Bloom Festival at the time that everybody exits the Bloom Festival. Just after all the balloons go up and there's, you know, there's still crafts and things to do, but most people exit that. So at Quaker and Ridge Roads, there's a signal that controls the intersection. It doesn't read the queuing, it doesn't read the traffic levels and so forth. A system we hope to get on Quaker Road someday. But a human being, a Warren County Sheriff's Patrol officer, would probably be much more effective at that intersection controlling traffic than that signal is. And the same thing that the committee has observed with Queensbury and Dix Avenues, especially after the events on Friday and Saturday night, so around 7 p.m., if we could get a sheriff's officer to control the Queensbury and Dix Avenue intersection, because as you know, the signal at Dix Avenue and Queensbury Avenues gives a priority to Dix Avenue. So any traffic on Queensbury just has a shorter time operation. That's just the way it's set up. It's not efficient for a mass flow of traffic. A human being could better measure the flow of traffic and be able to optimize the management of the traffic flow at that intersection following Friday and Saturday night's balloon events, okay? So those are some of their suggestions. Like I said, county's working very closely with us on that matter. We did receive the investigation narrative. We had a complaint made by one of the employees of some of the events at the cemetery, and there was 5 complaints made, and just about all of them, the application of the complaint was not sustained, and that the town was basically in compliance. There was one person who had not received their medical and fit test, and that was corrected. So anyhow, we're still going to see a violation for that, but all the rest of the ones came out pretty good for the town. So we have that report from the Department of Labor. I want to announce that to the public. Glens Falls Symphony sent a thank you to the town of Queensbury folks for, you know, their investment and what they're trying to do for the community. Their Summer Pops program. And they kindly support Jennifer Brink, the executive director, wanted to thank the folks in Queensbury for helping that to make that happen. We also got an announcement from Basil Saglos, who is the commissioner of the Department of Environmental Conservation, that we've been awarded $2,500 for our clean vehicle purchase. We bought a new vehicle, a Subaru Crosstrek, a plug-in hybrid, and we're getting a $2,500 rebate on that vehicle. Molly Condon Hunson, the executive director of the Glens Falls Area Youth Center, thanks us for helping them out financially with that youth center. And if you're familiar with the youth center, you know how many good things it does for people, young people between 5th and 12th grades at that center. And it helps to make us a much richer community in many, many ways. So we're very glad to help out the youth center, and we thank you for the thank you letter. All right, now the moment everyone's been waiting for, my report to community and board. Did a site visit with Connie Gaddard and one of the employees, Julian, to visit the Ogden Cemetery. And so what we're going to do is outline the cemetery with some highly visible colored roping rather than fence it, to identify an area that was an Ogden family And, you know, not too many of the tombstones are readable, but one is of a Mrs. Ogden, forgot her first name, who passed in 1827. So these people in the cemetery were some of the founders of this community. And just to remind you, we were established in 1762 and settled in 1763 by a group of Quakers that came from the Poughkeepsie area under the leadership of Abraham Wayne. And not everyone was Quaker, most were, but these, obviously, the Ogdens were some of the earliest settlers in the town of Queensbury. This is a cemetery that is on a park area that's controlled by the Queensbury Land Conservancy. And so we've got the right to the easements to take care of this Ogden Cemetery. That's all done. Already mentioned that. I went through again the New York State Public Authorities training, a lot of fun. We went up to visit, Jennifer was with me. We went up to the West Mountain, Northwest Road, Opry Circle area to analyze some of the stormwater problems up there. And so we're continuing that. We're putting the data in. We're trying to get our knowledge base. We want the facts. We don't want to do any finger pointing or anything until we have all the facts. So Jennifer and I were up there trying to work with the Dave Duell, the highway superintendent, and our town engineer, Sean Doty, to try and ascertain what's going on so that we can work at remediating those problems. I then went to the air quality meeting at the DEC Region 5 in Warrensburg with Councilwoman Atherton, and that was interesting. And then I had a Bloom Festival Committee meeting. This is August 13th, Tuesday. Wednesday, we had a Queensbury Climate Smart Communities Task Force Committee meeting, and Catherine Atherton was at that as well. And then I did a site visit with Chuck Rice, Kathy Pizzoni, Brent McDivitt, looking at location of potential EV stations, electronic vehicle recharging stations here on this campus. And we'll talk about our thoughts on that matter at our town board workshop. Our next town board workshop is Monday, August 26th, a week from today. And it will be held in the supervisor's conference room in the building over there. I met with the Lake George Regional Chamber of Commerce and CBB to talk about Queensbury and Queensbury needs and how we could work with each other and help each other. I then met with the town of Lake George and Lake George Land Conservancy to talk about the French Mountain Park and potential mountain bike trails and hiking trails there. And then we had a meeting on the new highway buildings. We're looking at building a new building for the highway snowplow trucks, the tandems, and a new salt barn. And then the town board had a workshop with Paul Getz of BST, and he went over the financial audit that the town gets annually. And then Friday, August 16th, I had a phone call with Paul Bishop of CGR. CGR is the outfit that we secured to help us evaluate and improve the efficiencies in our EMS system here in the Queensbury. And again, I want to point out, we have a great EMS system in Queensbury. We're looking to make it greater. So we've hired Paul Bishop. He's an authority on those kind of things to help us out with that matter. And then this Saturday, I went to Lake George Land Conservancy's annual meeting up yonder. A beautiful place. If you haven't been there, you should go. And then today, had county meetings and this town board meeting. So that's my report to the community. Anything else for the good of the order? No, I thought 8 o'clock, but not quite. All right, so I'd like to thank Town Council Mark Schagner, Karen O'Brien, Town Clerk, Town Board, and Joel Barlow, who was the cameraman for Look TV. I'd like to thank the public that came today. And I'd like to thank our sponsors, especially Stored Tech. So is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Switzer.
Second.
Councilwoman Switzer, seconded by Councilwoman Atherton. All those in favor of adjourning, say aye. Aye. It's unanimous. Now
The following program is underwritten by the generous support of Associates of Glens Falls and Loomis and Lipan Insurance. Since 1852, they have been assisting both businesses and individuals across the country secure the most comprehensive insurance products available. Associates of Glens Falls and Loomis and Lipan are one of New York's largest independently owned insurance agencies. Public affairs programming on Look TV is underwritten by the generous support of Pinnell's Restaurant, classic Italian-American food since 1922, and Stored Tech, technology solutions for computers, networks, and phone. Stored Tech, your technology, our passion.
1922, Babe Ruth debuts with the Yankees. WGY signs on air. Exterminator wins the Saratoga Cup, and Pinnell's Restaurant opens its doors for the very first time. For 5 generations, Pinnell's has been preparing delicious Italian food, served in a comfortable, home-like setting where everyone is welcomed. 90 years of authentic Italian recipes, 90 years of the freshest ingredients, and 90 years of the finest classic Italian dishes, all made daily by hand. Pinnell's Italian Restaurant, a Saratoga dining tradition since 1922.
Firms deal only with prevention, the systems that block hackers and viruses. Stored Tech knows the root cause is actually good people doing bad things. So we offer a security training program which includes certifying all participants to show they understand the basics.
Technology solutions for computers, networks, and phones. Stored Tech, your technology, our passion.